Hello, gas lampers. Well, it's good to be back here again, even if it only is in virtuality. Earliest childhood memories. One of my earliest memories was lying on the floor when I was about 2.5, 3, reading a book of nursery rhymes. I wasn't really reading the book, I was just looking at the pictures and reciting the rhymes because I knew which went with which. And the first one was Bar Bar Black Sheep. Well, you can't take offence at that, it's just a simple rhyme about wool redistribution. The next page it started to get a bit more edgy because the next page was Little Boy Blue. And I was always worried about Little Boy Blue because I wondered what happened to him when the farmer came back and found him asleep in a haystack and all the animals running wild about the place. That was a worry, but not of the same scale as what was on the next page, because even at that early age I knew you had to turn 2 pages together because I must not see what was on the next page, because the next page was Humpty Dumpty. And there was Humpty, and it was only a black and white drawing, but it was lying at the bottom of this wall and his head was cracked open and all this stuff was oozing out of it, and there was one of the king's men with his horse stood next to him going, what can I do about it? Horrendous. And I had seen books where Humpty had like a cross of plaster on his shell. And I thought, no, that's not right, because it said all the king's men and all the king's horses couldn't put Humpty together again. What I couldn't understand was, why would such a fragile being as Humpty put himself in such a vulnerable position? Because even at the age of 2.5 I had a wonderful vocabulary. Later, when I went to school, my first teacher, Mrs. Thorne, she said Humpty had climbed the wall so he could get a better view of the parade of king's horses and king's men. And he fell off and got squashed to death, and that should be a lesson to us all not to have ideas above our station. But I didn't buy that, and there began my lifelong struggle with the education system. I couldn't work out, did he fall, or was he pushed, or did he jump? And then I thought, well, perhaps he could have jumped and been pushed metaphorically. Perhaps on top of his wall he had a different perspective of the world. He could see things the rest of us couldn't see. What was it that drove him to jump? As I got older, I started to worry about the wall, because the wall, in a way, is as vulnerable as Humpty. It's just on a longer time scale. One day, the wall will crumble, turn to dust, and the city it belongs to will be ruins and disappear, along with the kingdom. Anyway, I'm having therapy, and they said I should share. So thank you for listening, and I might do a song now. This song is called Will All the King's Horses.
I climbed my wall and I looked over, raised my head to see what I might see. And here I sit and wonder at all that lies in front of me. On my wall I see things clearly, On my wall I gaze from higher ground. I might break, I may tumble, I could shatter on the ground. I look out over what stretches out before me. I look down upon you all. No matter what I try to cling on to, I know I am bound to fall. This wall is just made of bricks and mortar. One day it will crumble, it will fall. Forgotten in the rubble and destruction, I lie buried neath the ruins of it all. I climb my wall and I look over, see as far as I might see, and here I sit, and here I wonder at all that's come to be. And will all the king's horses, and can all of the king's men put this back together ever